Yeah.
Hello, everybody in YouTube land or SQPN live land or wherever you are. Where the heck are you? We're here, just the three of us this morning, for the 225th edition. Wow, that's a lot.
We're
of
old.
Catholic Weekend. I'm the old one. Look, every year. I'm 225 years old. I only look 100. I know. Okay, let's see. Father is still doing his Geek Priest. He should be wrapping that up pretty soon, so hopefully we won't be stealing too many people. I mean, who would want to leave Father's Geek Priest?
You want to steal his thunder like the
I know.
Spurs did.
There it
Oh,
is.
no.
I was waiting for that. It's only 3-2.
Oh boy, we're going to have some fun this morning, aren't we?
Oh,
Our representative from Oklahoma and our representative from Texas.
it's a good series.
think it is.
Blowouts every
Really?
game.
I haven't watched any of the games, so it doesn't really matter to me.
It don't matter to me. Okay, I hope that I hit the right buttons this morning for the sounds, and if not, who cares, because that's just part of the charm of the show.
We love you, Jeff.
Let me make sure thank you. I love you guys too. No matter what everybody else says. They're liars. Okay, let's see. We're recording on the H2. That's a good thing. And here we go. Quiet on the set. Catholic Weekend 225 is set to begin. And I push the button and nothing's happening. Is this the way it's going to be?
I'm on the edge of my seat.
This is SQPN, the StarQuest Production Network, leading the way.
You're listening to Catholic Weekend, episode number 225 for the week ending Saturday, May 31st, 2014. Good morning and welcome to Catholic Weekend. I'm Captain Jeff in Roswell, Georgia. Joining me today from the plains of Oklahoma, Steve Nelson.
Hello, everybody. Hey, Jeff, you want to know something?
What?
225 is one of my favorite numbers.
Is it? Well, you're going to have to tell us why just as soon as we finish our introductions. And speaking of introductions, from the Lone Star State, the Republic of Texas, Miss Angela Cialana.
Howdy, y'all. Good to be here.
Big and bright,
Deep in the heart of Texas.
the
All
prairie
right.
sky is wide and high.
They're gonna beat the Oklahoma basketball team's pants off.
It's called Oklahoma City Thunder.
That's it. Funny story. Well, not really funny, but it was interesting to me anyway. I was laying over. Was it last year that they were in the finals as well, Steve?
Yes.
Not the finals, the
Oh, okay.
Western Conference finals.
But they were like in the they were in the kind of like what they're in right now, I guess, right?
Yes.
Okay.
They've been playing better than the average team.
Well, how long has this team been around? Because I don't clearly I don't follow National Basketball Association sports. NBA.
I don't know the specifics except that they came from Seattle. They used to be the Seattle Supersonics.
Oh, okay.
They moved to
Seattle.
Oklahoma City. So as a team, they have a long history, but their presence in Oklahoma City is.
Well, so we have a layover there, and they're talking about not being able to put us in the normal hotel right down, in what do they call that, Bricktown or whatever,
Right, Bricktown.
Oklahoma City, and they were going to put us in this dump of, and I'm thinking, why? What is going on here? And they said we're talking about the Thunder, and I go, the what? I didn't even know that Oklahoma City had a basketball team. And I went, oh, okay, I get it now. Now it made sense. I thought back of all the people that were on the airplane wearing these Thunder jerseys. I had no idea what that was all about. So, as usual, I was clueless.
Yeah, it's a big deal in Oklahoma City.
Yeah.
They don't do so much promotion here in Tulsa, though, so it's we're not as fervent about them, generally speaking. But
Here's such
they're a
a
good team.
small market. Who cares?
Although Tulsa does have a WNBA team.
They do.
And y'all played us, I think, last week, or this past week. And I think we won.
They're called the Shock, the Tulsa Shock, and
Right.
you know they struggle. They're a
Hey,
struggling.
speaking of
team.
Tulsa and rain, you know that? Actually, I wasn't going to talk about rain. Did you? On my last show, I'm the airline pilot guy. I have a little airline aviation podcast, and an interesting thing happened. I think it was last week, where an American Airlines MD-80, the same kind of airplane that I fly, basically, took off from Little Rock and headed over to. It was going to Dallas,
Right.
and they had some kind of a problem, and they had to divert into Tulsa, and they had the news helicopters showing them coming in on final, and I had some live ATC audio and all that kind of stuff playing it. But I'm still scratching my head because I have I fly this airplane, and I have no idea what was wrong with the airplane. They talked about reduced maneuverability and a flight control computer, which we don't have flight control computers on this airplane, so kind of weird. So did you hear about that in the news?
All I heard was it was some electrical problem, and then they lost some of their control. I don't understand.
Which is interesting
get the
because
specifics there.
electricity has nothing to do with controlling that airplane, so that's kind of odd. Oh well.
Well, if it was something else, they didn't tell us what it was.
Yeah. Well, I know that they had to manually lower their landing gear, and that usually means it's some kind of a hydraulic problem. So.
Well, I know they did a flyby to make sure that the landing gear was down before they actually landed.
I saw that. Because you could tell because the gear doors, the inboard gear doors, were kind of hanging down. Normally they were flush. Speaking of flush. And I really didn't do that on purpose. It just worked out. So, how are you, Angela? How was your week?
It was great. I don't really remember it that much, but it was great.
Wow. Well, we won't go into why you don't remember it, but
I guess it was just a lot that happened.
it was a short week, right? Because we had Memorial Day last Monday.
That's true. That is true. Yeah. And last weekend, after we did Catholic Weekend, I was following the Pope's travels in the Holy Land and what he was doing and saying and everything. And I was just watching the feed and the Twitters because I can't speak Arabic or Italian or anything. So that was cool. And then, just a lot of news this week. But I guess we'll get into that in a second. So.
We will. And I really kind of brushed over what was happening in Tulsa besides the American Airlines divert into Tulsa. What's happening with you, Steve?
With me?
Yeah.
It's weird. It was one of those short work weeks that seemed longer than a regular work week. You ever have that? I don't know why. It just seemed it took forever. Maybe it's because I'm so excited about this weekend. But I didn't think I was going to get here. But
why are you excited about this weekend, Steve?
Today in just a couple hours, my friend Brian Ketterer is going to be ordained a priest for our diocese, and he was one of my students at the Newman Center at the University of Tulsa. He was a freshman back in 2005, and so I've seen him grow from this little skinny 18-year-old up to and all through his seminary years and everything, and I'm just so excited about it. It's going to be a great time. So I went to a rehearsal yesterday for it, and then we had a holy hour for. Not only is he being ordained, but we're also having a separate ordination mass for 13 permanent deacons. So lots going on today,
Wow.
and I'm real excited about it.
That's huge. 13.
We ordain that number just about every other year, I think. We have lots and lots of deacons.
That's huge. That's great.
Yeah.
So, and you're taking part in this ordination mass, right?
Right, yeah. Brian asked me to be one of the lectors, so I get to read the second reading, which is from Romans, from Paul's letter to the Romans, and I'm excited about it because if you've ever read Romans, it's work.
So Steve, let me give you some advice. Don't
Yeah.
screw it up.
I will try not to. I will try not to.
That's my advice to you.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Angela alluded to this big news, and the big headline on the newadvent.org site: Pope and Orthodox Patriarch look to 2025 meeting at Nicaea to mark the 1700 years since the First Ecumenical Council.
Isn't that insane? That is
Yeah.
like, wow, 17 centuries later.
I missed the 1600th anniversary myself, but I heard it was quite a hoot. Quite a hoot. So, yeah, they're going to meet. Let's see, where are they going to meet? In Nicaea, obviously. Duh. And that
Yeah,
is in
I
present.
told my boss all about this yesterday, and he was like, "Wait, how old is Pope Francis? Isn't he like 78 or something? We should get him like some kind of life insurance policy so he can make it to this meeting."
Yeah, I
But
hate.
no, it's going to be whoever the Pope is and whoever the patriarch is, right?
Right. But it's something to look forward to. I mean, I hope. What is that? 14 years from now, or no, 11 years from now?
Yeah.
I hope
I
to
hope
be
I
here.
can. I hope I'm still around to see it.
So, just to remind everybody, the Council of Nicaea, the one where they came up with the Nicene Creed, and there was a big heresy that they squashed. Wasn't that the one that Saint Nicholas was there and he started beating up some people to defend the teaching of the church?
I
Somebody
believe
get on that.
so.
Okay, Lynn Francisco, are you listening right now? Could you look that up and make sure that this is I don't have my facts all kind of garbled up, but I think that was the one where
Yeah, because it was he punched Arius, right?
I think so,
Wasn't
yeah,
that it?
and Arius
And it was the Arian heresy at Nicaea that they were
yeah.
honoring.
So I bet that's it. Anyway, I wonder if they're going to do a reenactment of that. That would be kind of cool.
Let's see who will play Nicholas and who will play Arius.
So Nicaea now is in what is now known Iznik, Turkey. I've always wanted to go there. I've heard that a lot of
Iznik?
pilgrimages go to Nicaea in Turkey to kind of look at the where the. I think they actually have some of the remains of the actual place where they held the council, some stones and that kind of thing.
I think I've been there.
Oh.
I've been to Izmir, which is a coastal town in Turkey. I don't know if it's Izmir or Iznik. I don't know if they're the same place.
Might be.
But yeah, there's all kinds of Roman ruins around that whole area, all along the Mediterranean coast there. It's a really fascinating place to go.
I should
Did you
probably.
get some Turkish delight when you were there?
Yes. I ate a lot of carpet.
Would you please elaborate? That sounds kind of odd.
Turkish delight? Oh my gosh. It's Jeff. Well, obviously you've never read C.S. Lewis's The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe and the Chronicles of Narnia.
You're right.
Or seen the movies.
Again.
Because that's a big part of the
Okay.
it's a dessert, right? How would you describe it, Steve?
I have no idea what's in it. I don't.
It's delightful.
Yeah.
Once again, I'm showing my ignorance.
Well, it's a dessert apparently that can lure young boys into doing, betraying his family and friends.
Doesn't that pretty much every dessert do that? Okay. So I'm pulling up the chat room just in case somebody is frantically trying to tell me that something about that Nicene Council and St. Nicholas and all that kind of stuff, but apparently no, they're doing their own thing, so never mind. Hey, if you're watching this or listening to this and you want to get some extra added features, you can, if you're up on Saturday mornings. I know it's early for some of you, especially if you're on the West Coast. Forget it, you're not going to do that. But Central Time and Eastern Time, we're here, and we record this live, and we have a live chat room. So just head over to CatholicWeekend.sqpn.com, and you can take part in the fun and frivolity of the chat room. All right. So
Frivolity.
Frivolity. Do you like that? Okay. So what else is to say about this very cool announcement about the meeting between the Orthodox Church and the Catholic Church in 2025? That's a good sign.
Well, I think it'll be interesting to see how, especially the Protestant side, reacts to this, because
Hmm.
it portends great things for Christian unity, as people are open to it.
Hmm.
And
Yeah,
like you said, it's
absolutely.
still a long way away, so who knows what this will turn into.
Now, I don't know if this is true yet, still, but I know that when I was studying to come into the Catholic Church, I was doing a lot of research about the history of Christianity, and I think the numbers broke down to something like if an alien came to our world and met somebody, there would be a 50% chance, at least. Well, I'm going to get my facts all screwed up here, but if you just took a group of Christians, 50% of them would be Catholic, like in communion with the Catholic Church, both the Roman Rite, the Western Rite of the Catholic Church, and also all the Eastern rites. That would be about 50%. About 25% would be the Orthodox Church, which split from the Catholic Church around 1054. And then the other remaining 25% of the Christians would be some kind of either a non-denominational Christian or a Protestant Christian or all the rest of the Christians.
Hmm.
So that's pretty huge. If we can get the 30% to kind of realign with the not 30%, the 50% with the other 25%. We're doing a lot of math here this morning. Let me get my calculator out. It
It's
gets like
too early
75.
in the morning,
Yeah.
Jeff.
Well, anyway, I think that's huge. I think.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Okay.
And can you imagine just, I mean, I think about, I don't know if you guys watched any of the footage from the meeting between Bartholomew and Francis in the Holy Land, but it was just so moving for me to see them. So they met in the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, like they were sitting right outside the tomb of Jesus. And there was a reading from the Gospel in Greek and then in Latin. And they prayed the Our Father together for the first time ever, I think in history is when that happened. Um, and they just seemed very much like brothers. I mean, it was really a sight to behold to see that there was such an affection,
Mhm.
like a brotherly affection between them. And you can tell that they're really wanting this unity to start happening, amongst Christians in general. And can you just imagine, like, how powerful of a witness that would be for the whole world if after like however like a millennia to see the Orthodox and the Catholics uniting? I
Mhm.
mean, awesome.
Everything was going so swimmingly well until he recited the Nicene Creed, and then it just went down, especially towards the end. Oh well, that's kind of a geeky inside joke there.
Yeah, yeah.
Look it
So,
up.
by the way, yeah, go study the supposed reason that the Orthodox Church split from the Catholic Church. Okay, Father Corey, according to Lynn Francisco, Father Corey confirmed that yes, indeed, there will be a reenactment of the fisticuffs at the Nicene Council. No, it was Father Nicholas at the Father. Well, I guess he was Father. Uh, Saint
Bishop,
Nicholas.
actually. Yeah,
Bishop Saint Bishop Nick, whatever.
that
The
guy.
Nicholas guy. He was there, and he punched out Arius. There you go. Let's
So
never.
auditions happening now.
Okay, so let's see. What else do we want to move to? Did you know why so many Protestant churches have First Church of blank in their name?
I do
No.
not know.
Well, it really didn't give that much information about it, but I was hoping it to be more exciting, but it turns out that because that church, whatever that Protestant church is, usually it's a Baptist church or Presbyterian or whatever. It's because that's the first Baptist church in that little town. And
That's what
then
I thought.
Well, that's what. Yeah.
yeah, and then sometimes you'll see second and third churches. They're not that rare. And then let's see, the Second Baptist Church of Detroit, for example, was founded when 13 former slaves left the city's First Baptist over its discriminatory practices. And then also, there are cases where there is the 10th Presbyterian, and Los Angeles has the 28th Church of Church Scientist or Christ Scientist.
Wow, that's a
Huh.
lot
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
that particular denomination in one
Yeah.
town. I didn't know that there were so many in a particular
Do
town.
we have any Catholic churches that are, the first Catholic church of Boise or something?
No, we tend to, honor them with a saint name.
I
Yeah.
think we like the idea of patronage, like
Mhm.
heavenly patronage. So.
Yeah.
Although it just has another little bit of trivia. There's a parish here in Tulsa that's actually I'll be going to this evening because Father Brian will have his first mass there. But it's Church of Christ the King, and apparently it's the first one in the world that was ever dedicated to Christ the King.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
back in 1925, I think they said something like that. So cool little
Wow.
trivia, Tulsa trivia.
So okay, this is a Catholic trivia question. When was the feast of Christ the King established in the church? Was it around that time?
No idea.
I think it was.
Well, we could do a quick search on Google.
If only.
If only we had the technology.
Only because everything on Google is correct.
Absolutely. And Wikipedia, too. Which is sad because I get a lot of my information from Wikipedia, and I know that it's not necessarily.
Yeah. Like, did you see my tweet the other day? Don't trust Wikipedia because there was an article. I don't remember which article it was that I was looking at, and it was about some saint, and it said that this saint was canonized by the first female popess, Beyonce the First.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, and Beyonce the Second is out there really just tearing it up in the music world.
I don't know if Wikipedia used to be you could go in and edit anything,
You can still, it's still the people's encyclopedia.
I thought there was more of a review process now or something. You had to be
Apparently not.
well, it doesn't mean
Well,
that
there
everything out there's been fixed.
Right. It just takes time sometimes to go in and say, wait a minute, there's no Popess, Beyonce.
Yeah, every time I pull up Wikipedia, the first thought in my mind is read this with an open mind about how truthful it is.
Yeah, grain of salt and all.
Yeah.
As Angela was saying earlier, maybe before we started recording the show, but Maria can't be with us this weekend. I think she's going to an ordination, right?
Graduation.
No, graduation.
That's right. This is the graduation time of year as well as ordination time of year. And because Maria is a poet herself, a published poet, it would have been nice for her to be here to talk about the death of Maya Angelou. And
Yeah.
she left our earthly world just a few days ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
May 29th.
I think it was Wednesday.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
You really had a gift for words.
Absolutely. And she was, I blogged a little bit about this, but she really was an inspiration for me as a little girl. Poetry was like a big thing in my life for many, many years. And I remember just discovering poetry, and hers were some of the first poems that I read. And I just totally loved them. And then when I learn more about her life and just how remarkable of a woman she was. She grew up in the Jim Crow South, and she had a very difficult childhood. She was raped when she was 7 years old, and there were like several years of her life after that. She was so traumatized that she didn't speak to anyone except her brother. And so it's that much more incredible that she grew up and became one of the greatest, writers of all time and poets of all time. For her to, have this, I think she really kind of understood the power of words, for the fact that, she didn't speak, for so many years. So, yeah, just an amazing person.
She kept it all bottled up, I guess. Catherine Jean Lopez reminds us that Angelou had an opinion about abortion, too. And in the 1990s, the acclaimed poet lent her name to this pro-life statement, which appeared in, among other places, Mother Jones. We, the undersigned, are committed to the protection of life, which is threatened in today's world by war, abortion, poverty, racism, the arms race, the death penalty, and euthanasia. We believe these issues are linked under a consistent ethic of life. They are. We challenge those working on all or some of these issues to maintain a cooperative spirit of peace, reconciliation, and respect in protecting the unprotected. That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she actually had her only son when she was 16 years old. And people told her to get an abortion, but she said she knew that she had someone living inside of her. And so she thankfully had the support of her family, but she had her son, and then later in life when she wanted to have children, she found out she couldn't. So she says that it was just, she really thanked God that she was able to have her son at 16. So incredible.
That it is. Okay, well, we'll take a quick break and look at what is going on in the chat room. And I have to, I know I'm shifting from the sad news of the death of Maya Angelou to something that's a little bit lighter. And our resident SQPN mayor, Mike Kuipers, and funny guy, says, we were talking about St. Nicholas at Nicaea. He said, so St. Nick started Boxing Day? Excellent. I love Mike's sense of humor. And then
that is funny because Boxing Day comes right after Christmas.
Right, yeah, the day after Christmas.
That's your birthday too.
Yeah, my birthday is the martyrdom of Saint Stephen, and Boxing Day, and now it's going to have a completely different meaning in my head. Thanks to Mike Kuipers. And then also Lynn and Father Corey did find out that the feast of Christ the King was established in 1925 by Pope Pius XI.
There you go.
Okay, so
There
they
you
were. Our parish was right on the ball, I guess.
Yeah.
Wow,
They
how
were,
did
they
they
were paying.
find that out though? Like that back then, you didn't have the internet to say like, oh, today Christ the King feast. But they must have had some kind of insider, like,
It was in the bulletin.
connection.
Well, they had radio and telegraphs. And,
They did?
yeah.
They didn't have TV, though, did they? When was TV? 1940s,
No, 1940s, right?
maybe?
Yeah, I don't know when it was first done, though, but yeah, exciting.
Yeah. So there. Thank you again to our collective brain, the chat room, for helping, and also comedians, Mike.
Mike.
He always comes up with something good.
Yeah. So how's your when you're in a lull and you really don't know what to talk about, you always go for what?
Weather.
The weather. So how's the drought in Oklahoma? Have you are you getting somewhere with getting the water levels back up?
Well, we had since last weekend we had several days of rain, really good rain, and we needed it. But we're still something like 7 inches behind for the year or something.
Have you had any tornado activity yet?
Nope, I don't think so.
It's been
I mean,
a very,
nothing.
very mild year when it comes to tornadoes.
Yeah, it's a catch-22 here because you don't want the bad storms, but you want the rain, and they always come together this time of year. So it's you're praying for rain, and you're praying that the storms are only so bad, But we had some flooding down in the southern part of the state because they got like 3 inches all at once, which isn't all that helpful because all it does is run into the river and goes away. But we have had some slow days of rain, and it's going to be really helpful. But it's still, we're just way behind.
It goes away and it goes to Texas, right?
Well, we had a tornado warning on when was it? Tuesday. I don't know if it actually. I know we had funnel clouds, but I don't know if we actually had a tornado. So the Wild West for you.
How are the temperatures so far this year? It's been very mild. Most of the places I've been going, a mild summer. Well, it's not really summer yet, but
We've hit 90 a couple of times, but mostly it's been in the 80s. And there's a lot more. We had a lot more humidity this week, so that was noticeable. But
yeah, it's been.
Take it.
Go ahead.
No, I said you just take it and you go on.
Yeah. from most of the places I've been, it seems like the humidity levels are down as well, which is nice. All right. Well, why don't we take a break as I try to find my break music, and hopefully this will play without hiccuping. We'll see. Llewellyn's Leap by Alan Marchand. And while Alan plays in the background, let me remind everybody that all of us at SQPN really appreciate your financial and prayer support. And if you want to contribute something to the network to help us in our efforts in the new evangelization, it's not easy for me to say that word, apparently. You can head over to sqpn.com/donate and sign up to be a friend of SQPN. A lot of those people in the chat room right there are friends of SQPN, and we do appreciate that. And many of you listening are as well. I mean, heck, this show, Catholic Weekend, really is your show. This is a community program there to just kind of talk about what's happening in the church and in the world and what's happening at SQPN. And by the way, I have a little bit of an announcement shortly after I finish this little commercial for donating to SQPN regarding the SQPN network and our community. So, again, if you feel compelled to send some of your annual donations to a good cause, head over to sqpn.com. And if you want to make it less painful and you need to buy something from Amazon.com, and who doesn't really, head over to, again, sqpn.com and click on the Amazon.com banner or whatever it is, image or link, and then that'll take you to Amazon.com. You can do your shopping, and we get a portion of the sale. And it's a painless way for you to do that. It doesn't cost you any more. It just means that Jeff Bezos and the gang at Amazon don't get as much from you. So we do appreciate it. It really does add up, and it's a noticeable addition to our the money that we receive each year from our folks. Okay. And then last, of course, if you're thinking about starting your own blog, podcast, what else can you do with a website, Steve? You could do you could sell things.
A photo challenge.
Yes.
Photo challenge. Yeah, we're going to talk about that here in a minute. And it's not too late yet for me to submit my...
Not for this first challenge. No,
Okay.
you have today.
Okay, I'll have to
Till
do that today.
midnight.
On Sunday? Okay,
Midnight.
talk about that in a second. So anyway, if you want to start a site and have a photo challenge like Steve has at his, head over to bluehost.com. But before you go over to bluehost.com, make sure you click on the banner on the sqpn.com site first. And that way, we'll get a nice, generous contribution from them. So we thank our partners, Bluehost, Amazon, and all of you, our friends of SQPN. All right, so there we have it. Now, I mentioned that we have an announcement, a press release, and if you're watching the show live, you are the first to hear our press release because we actually
Where's the
haven't
fanfare?
released it. Well, okay, I'm trying to figure out where that would be here.
Da-da.
Let's see. Can you hear that?
I apologize.
Okay, there's... No, please don't apologize. I don't know if I have fanfare or not, but I'm going to play that timpani in the background. I don't know how long that's going to go. Probably not very long. So I better get over here to the press release, which will be released probably later today or tomorrow. The next Catholic New Media Conference celebrates the 10-year jubilee of Catholic podcasting.
Wow.
The next Catholic New Media Conference will be held in the spring of 2015, 10 years after Catholic podcasting took off around the events of the death of St. John Paul II and the election of Pope Benedict XVI. Since the first CNMC, that was back in 2008 in Atlanta, the Catholic New Media Conference has brought together Catholic communicators from all over the world to share experiences and exchange knowledge and insights on evangelization, catechesis, and information using new media like blogging, podcasting, and internet video. With the rise of social networks like Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Pinterest, more and more people, parishes, and religious organizations have discovered the possibilities of these new forms of communication. Podcasting technology, which enables people to listen to audio recordings on their computer or mobile devices and cell phones, has given many Catholics a voice and an opportunity to share their message with the world. The next CNMC will pay special attention to the 10-year jubilee of this particular form of new media and explore the future possibilities of this medium for the Church. The CNMC is organized by the Catholic organization SQPN, the StarQuest Production Network. So, if you want to keep informed about the exact date and place of the 2015 Jubilee CNMC, subscribe to our newsletter and follow the CNMC on Twitter, which is at CNMC, and on Facebook, facebook.com/SQPNCNMC. Lots of letters there, SQPNCNMC. I can hardly say it.
Alphabet soup.
If you want to follow us on as far as the newsletter, I believe that's available as well on our website. So that's exciting. We're officially going to save up all of our energy for a big CNMC next year in the spring. So
I like it.
Fantastic.
So we don't know exactly where yet. We're still analyzing potential locations and potential dates. So we'll keep you advised regarding that. So those of you who are thinking about, arranging their vacation schedules and such for this year, you don't have to worry about it. You can take it off the table. You can go to the beach or Disney World or take a pilgrimage to
Papua New Guinea.
Yeah, there you go. Papua New Guinea, popular destination for vacationers like Steve. So, all right. So I'm excited about that, and it's going to be a very special one because, can you believe it? 10 years since we started doing CNMCs.
That's
Well,
amazing.
Well, that's not
I feel
actually.
old.
We didn't
podcasting.
Podcasting. I'm sorry.
No. Yeah, that's
28
right.
is,
Like, I was in college when I went to the first CNMC.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
It's not that long ago.
I messed that one up. It was not 10 years of CNMCs, but
It
10
seems
years
a
of
lot
podcasting.
longer than 10 years to me, though.
Really?
I don't know why. It just does.
I was in Omaha. Hey, Barb from Omaha. I think she's in Omaha, isn't she? Anyway.
No, she's in like Dallas this weekend, actually.
Oh, right
I
now,
think.
but she
She
lives
lives in
Omaha.
But she lives in Omaha, I think. But
Yeah.
anyway, I was there a couple of weeks ago. I'm sorry I didn't give you a call. Barb, was kind of last minute, but I was sitting in a bar, which is typical for me, and near the stadium there. I think that where they had the College World Series. I don't know how I got on this conversation, but there's a guy sitting next to me, and he's asking about all these beers, and I guess I must have mentioned something about podcasting. I'm not sure what. And he kind of looked over at me and he goes, "Did you say something about podcasting?" I may have been talking to the bartender, and I said, "Yeah." And he said, "Hi, my name is Evo," and I forgot what his last name is. I have his business card here somewhere. But apparently, he said I had the number 40 or like the 40th podcast. Like, I don't know how you keep track of all that, but he started in 2004. And
Wow.
he was the co-author of the book Podcasting for Dummies.
Wow.
So, yeah, is Evo something or other? EVO. I just remember his first name because it's kind of an odd name.
Huh.
But yeah, we talked about podcasting and the history of podcasting, and I told him that I was involved at quite an early time in podcasting, but I wasn't actually doing it myself. I was just kind of behind the scenes and supporter of podcaster and listener of podcasting. But anyway, that was kind of cool, I thought.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is Father Roderick in that book?
I would
wonder.
imagine. I wonder what was written.
Evo Terra.
That's it, Evo Terra.
Yeah.
And he was. Oh yeah, here we go. Here's his card. Chief Disruption Officer at Big Bounce. I guess this is a company where they do something with people who are coming up with new ventures, new startups, and that kind of thing. And so I guess they help them get that big bounce. And
Cool. Kind of like a Kickstarter kind of thing.
he said this is the weirdest thing. He said new media is amazing. He said I was over at this other bar on the other side of town, and just happened to tweet, or maybe he was using Foursquare. Fourspace? What it was called?
Yeah, Foursquare.
Foursquare. And he said that he was at this bar and having a great time or enjoying the food or whatever. And then somebody, he said, all of a sudden, his telephone rings, his cell phone, and he goes, "Hey, this is so and so. I live in Omaha, and we're having this conference called Big Omaha or something like that over at at this other bar on the other side of town." He said, "Come on over. You know, we'll buy you a beer." And so he walked over to the place that I was, and so he was getting his beer before he was going to go upstairs to this big Omaha conference. So he said it's just amazing how new media, how just putting something in your cell phone, and then somebody that you never have known in your life just calls you and invites you to a party. It's pretty amazing.
That never happens to me.
But do you put, "I'm here and I'm looking for somebody to call me and invite me to a big conference"?
Well, usually when I use Foursquare, it's because I'm getting ready to go into mass, and it's not like it's like, oh, me too.
No, we should do though. I mean, that's, we should probably use that more and say, "Hey, I'm about to go to mass. Come and join me." Of course, by the time you see this, you're probably not going to have time to come.
Yeah, it's like, unless you live across the street.
Right. And you can't really check into someplace an hour before you're there.
But isn't that a way? But that's a great way for us to witness, though, right? Even though if we don't really particularly expect people to at the last moment join us for mass, I think that when they see people like you, Angela, Steve, me, saying, "Hey, I'm about to go to mass," it just kind of is a public witness, I think, to our faith.
Yeah, I think so. But I'm not sure who. I don't have a very big group of friends on Foursquare, but it goes to Twitter as well. So there's lots of non-Catholic friends on Twitter. So
right.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I hadn't really thought of it like that.
I guess it depends on how you connect it up and all that. What I'm using it for mostly is just I have like a little thing on my website that kind of shows, in general, where I am around the country, just in case somebody wants to
Stalk you.
Stalk me, yes.
Avoid you.
I'm looking for a
All
stalk.
your super fans.
I'm going to have a meetup in Cleveland next week, by the way, on Wednesday,
good.
I think.
Cleveland needs some meetups.
Cleveland rocks.
Yes, it does. Okay, well, how are
I
we
got a
doing?
smartphone on Monday for the first time ever.
What'd you get?
I got a Samsung S4 Mini.
Huh.
Nice.
Galaxy S4 Mini.
Do you like
What
it?
do you yeah, what do you think?
I like it. Dan, my husband, has an S3 Mini. So I went to the store and I was like, "Oh, I want exactly what he has." And they're like, "We're not selling that anymore." I was like, "Okay, well, guess I'll get the S4 Mini." And yeah, so it's kind of a new thing because I know I've been in new media worlds forever, it seems like, but I've never had a smartphone, and so it's so funny to be acclimating myself to that now.
Yeah.
That is odd.
I have a love-hate relationship with my phone. I let it distract me far too often when I should be doing other things.
That's why I'm trying not to install a bunch of apps on it. Like, I just put Instagram on there, I think, and that was the only thing. I read some article about how Facebook now, like, they can listen to your surroundings through your smartphone's microphone. And that just really freaked me out. So I was like, I'm not putting Facebook on my smartphone.
Yeah, that's kind of creepy.
Yeah.
It's a little
Mine's
bit
starting to
Big Brother.
malfunction. The home button on the iPhone, it's
Which one do you have? The 5?
4.
Because I know they have a kind of a recall going on for iPhone 5. I've already taken mine back once and gotten a new one with the home button not working. I'm not sure I've heard anything about the 4 though.
Well, I mean, I've
need
had
a
this phone
6
for a
is
long
what you
time
need.
now. Well, that's it. The rumor is it's going to come out in September, so I'm just trying to nurse this along.
You know what? You can do a software home button. I don't know if you know in accessibility, it'll actually put a little home button on your screen.
Oh, well, I might give that
In
a
case
try.
if you need to, if you get to the point where the home button doesn't work at all, you may need to do that. Okay, well, of course, it's that time. Okay, and this is one of those rare occasions where I actually had 2 picks of the week before we even started the show this morning.
No.
Yeah, seriously. No, it's shocking. So, would you like me to go first, or would one of you like to go first?
Well, I guess this is the occasion that you would go first.
Yeah,
Wouldn't
let me go.
it?
Let me go, because then you'll know that I'm not trying to steal somebody else's. Okay. The first one I love Peter Kraft, and it looks like it's Kreeft, Kreeft, but it's actually pronounced Kraft, which means I think lobster or crab or something like that, some kind of
It's a
Really?
Dutch name, isn't it?
I
Dutch,
didn't know
yes.
that.
Yes. And which is kind of not ironic, but suitable for Peter Kraft because he's a big surfer. A lot of people didn't know that either.
Wow, I'm
Loves
learning
surfing.
things out the wazoo today.
Anyhow, well, we're not going to talk about your wazoo on the show. He is quite a gifted author and lover of C.S. Lewis and other Catholic authors, and he is I guess he's a professor of philosophy at Boston College, I think.
Hmm.
Anyway, he's an amazing writer and speaker, and I love listening to his lectures. They used to be free, and now you have to pay like $2 but they're definitely worth paying $2 to iTunes or wherever you get them to listen to him speak because he is very eloquent, which is like the opposite of the way I speak. And they have on the site petercraft.com. They have a couple links for some free audio, still free. And here we go again with the sound above me. Um, I'll push through it though. Okay. And the one that I listened to on my walk was on a radio program in the UK, and I love listening to British accents. And this was a great show. It's called it was by Premier Radio in the UK, and it's a show called Unbelievable. It's a Christian radio program on Premier Radio in the UK, and he was debating. When I say debate, it was a very, very nice conversation with an atheist.
Nice or civil?
Civil. There we go. Civil. But they were talking, and they're talking a lot of philosophical ideas about desire, and is that kind of something that points to a creator, a God, and each person made a lot of great points, and it was definitely worth a listen. Hour and 20 minutes or so, I think. And so if you're looking for something to put in your smartphone while you're on your treadmill or your walk or run or drive or whatever, and you want to listen to some really intellectually stimulating talk about the existence of God and if our desire for something like God is proof that he is there. So that is my first pick. And then my second pick is a group of people up in the Rhode Island area. They're doing a podcast, very much like what we're doing here with Catholic Weekend, but they're focusing on, it's called Monday Morning Catholic. And what they do is like, Monday morning quarterbacking, kind of analyzing the previous day's football games or whatever. They're analyzing the previous day's homilies regarding the readings and such. And so it's more of a catechetical type of program where they talk about the readings and the but not before they occur, but after. And they put out the show on Monday morning, hence the Monday Morning Catholic. And Joanne the person that hosts the show was having a few technical problems with the setup, like what we do here with Catholic Weekend on the Hangouts and stuff like that. So I helped her get things all worked out for their show. So hopefully they're working for them, and you should check out their show. Again, it's called Monday Morning Catholic at mondaymorningcatholic.net. Let me see. I think I have it bookmarked here somewhere.
And you can also subscribe to them on YouTube.
There you go.
Do it
Yep,
for
they
them.
have hangouts like we have on YouTube, and yes, mondaymorningcatholic.net, and there you can see hear the audio podcast, and you can also head over to YouTube and watch them do their hangout. So those are my picks of the week.
Cool.
Now, who wants to go next? I guess Angela would be the appropriate person to go to.
Okay. Well, since you got 2 picks, I want 2 picks, dude. So my first pick is this great little blog that I mentioned before, reverbculture.com. They had a great blog a couple weeks ago, I think. And it was called "The New Evangelization Must Be Good Cheese." And so it masterfully integrates cheese, G.K. Chesterton, and the New Evangelization. um, it's fun, and it has a really great message about how we should do New Evangelization, and that we should make it as good cheese is made. So if that sounds intriguing to you, go to reverbculture.com and look for The New Evangelization Must Be Good Cheese.
Hey,
So
this ain't no
shout out to
craft singles evangelization. It's good cheese.
Amen, brother. And then the other pick is the novena to the Holy Spirit, which began yesterday, but you can hop on board still because we are waiting for Pentecost Sunday, which is exciting, especially in our archdiocese, because our Archbishop has decided that on Pentecost Sunday he will consecrate our archdiocese to the Holy Spirit. And he actually told Pope Francis that he was going to do this. So we're all very excited. We're all praying the novena in our archdiocese. And also, another intention for your novenas is that on Pentecost Sunday is the day that the presidents of Palestine and Israel will meet Pope Francis at the Vatican to pray for peace. I know we all heard that that was going to happen this past week, and it's going to happen on Pentecost Sunday. So that's a big reason for hope, and I'm just really excited that the Holy Spirit is working a lot. So, yay, Holy Spirit.
Cool. And I guess because your pastor told Pope Francis, or your bishop?
Yeah, our bishop.
Yeah, I guess now you got to do it, right?
We really have to do it, yeah. We're committed. So, but he's super excited. He's actually our archbishop his name is Gustavo Garcia Sierra, and he is a member of a religious order that is called the Missionaries of the Holy Spirit. So he's all about the Holy Spirit, and so we're gearing up here. I'm trying to find more red shirts to wear on Pentecost weekend. So
interesting. I was just looking up at that source we call Wikipedia about Pentecost, and in the Eastern Church, Pentecost can also refer to the whole 50 days between Easter and Pentecost. I guess hence Penta for 5 or a
50.
multiple of 5. Yeah. The feast is also called White Sunday or Whitsun, especially in England, where the following Monday was traditionally a public holiday. Cool.
Back in the good old days.
So, yeah, Pentecost is celebrated 7 weeks, 50 days after Easter Sunday, hence its name. Okay. Very cool. So, are we going to have a link for the folks if they want to join the Holy Spirit Novena?
Yeah, I'll put a link in the show notes.
Very good. Thank you. And Stephen.
Yes.
Your pick of the week.
Oh, I only have one thing on my mind right now, and that's ordination coming up. So that's kind of my pick of the week is if you can, go to an ordination. But I also want to tell you about something really cool I saw last night. Like I said, we had the Solemn Vesters and Holy Hour for all the people being ordained. Did I mention that? I did mention that, right?
Yeah.
Okay. But at the end of that, Bishop Slattery, our bishop, he consecrated the new paten and the new chalice for Father Brian. And it was really cool because they take the sacred chrism that they consecrated at the Chrism Mass right before Easter, and so they spread that all over the paten and all over the chalice and everything. And it was just awesome to watch that, to see this, this ordinary, or what had been an ordinary chalice, now consecrated to a particular purpose for the rest of its existence. And I just thought it was really cool. It's one of those little things you don't get to see very often.
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay, great pick of the week. I love that. Stephen. Yeah? Okay, well, by now, of course, you hear the music in the background, the outro music for Catholic Weekend. And that means it's time now to talk about our individual blogs and podcasts and other new media ways to find out more about us. So, Angela, why don't you start us off with Inspired Angela?
Yep, you can find me at Inspired Angela on Twitter, and inspiredangela.wordpress.com is my blog.
All right. And you've also mentioned on this show that you've written about several different things during the week.
Yeah, this week has been busy, so go check it out.
Okay. inspiredangela.wordpress.com. And Steve has a great blog, everythingesteban.com.
Yes, everythingesteban.com, and you can participate in the Catholic Photo Challenge. Our first challenge will end at midnight tonight, and then we'll have a new one tomorrow.
Now, what do you do, Steve, if you want to participate but you don't have a blog?
Well, basically, you need to be able to put a link to something that has your photo on it. The plugin that I'm using just had an update this week, and they've made it much easier to use Instagram for that.
Okay. That's pretty straightforward then.
Yeah, I mean, the important, what I think is really important, though, is not just the photo that you're posting, but also the reason why you're posting it. So, it should be a site where you can actually comment on why you chose this particular photo.
No, okay.
Yeah, so
very good.
That's my wish, instead of just random photos.
Gotcha.
Know why you picked.
Because I think one of the shows I watch is many different shows on twit.tv, and it's actually a radio program on the Tech Guy podcast. They have a photo contest, not a contest, a photo. Oh, they have a guy that's a photo expert that's on every weekend, and they have a place where people can submit their photos to Flickr, but I don't think there's any way for them to actually do what you feel is maybe more important than the photo itself, and is why you did this or picked this particular photo. So
yeah, it takes a little bit of tech savviness.
Yeah.
Is that right?
That's a word.
To use one of those other sites, you have to be able to put a photo on, then you have to leave a comment, then you have to be able to figure out how to get a link to it that will work for the general public, because sometimes, there's...
Yeah, you got to be logged in for the link to work, or it's private, yeah.
Yeah, so it makes, every site's different, and you just kind of have to figure that out yourself, because I can't figure them out for everybody.
Yeah.
But at least they made Instagram work easier, and you can leave comments on your photos on Instagram.
Well, that's exciting. So I have until midnight until what, tomorrow night?
Tonight.
Tonight?
31st.
You said 2 days. Gosh darn it.
Two-day.
Oh, 2 day. Oh.
Yeah. The idea is I want to post new ones on the 1st and the 15th of every month.
Okay.
So
if you don't get in this particular one, then
there'll be a new one tomorrow.
Next one. Excellent. And we can find out more information by going to everythingesteban.com.
Absolutely.
All right. Be in the show notes. And finally, last and least, is my podcast, Aviation. Why do I always call it Aviation Pilot Guy? Airline Pilot Guy. Maybe I should change the name. An aviation podcast. So if you're interested in flying or whatever, and you want to listen to somebody answer a bunch of questions from people regarding all that kind of stuff, head over to airlinepilotguy.com. And let's see, on this last show, I talked a little bit about that incident in Tulsa that we were talking about earlier on the show. Some more near misses out there, and turbulence injuries and all kinds of fun stuff. So if you're a fearful flyer, you probably shouldn't listen to the show. Actually, I do have a lot of people who are fearful flyers that listen to the show, and they've sent me correspondence telling me that they have overcome most, if not all, of their fear by listening to my show and learning more about flying and that kind of thing. So they say,
wow,
knowledge is power. And so the more you know, the more you want. I don't know what.
Empower yourself.
Empower yourselves.
Knowledge.
Yes.
Aviation.
So, as Angela mentioned, not this weekend, but the coming week, Pentecost. So hope everybody has a great weekend this weekend, a great week, and we'll see you here back again next week on Catholic Weekend. Take care, and God bless.
And my favorite number is 225 because...
Oh, wait.
Oh, no!
Well, why didn't you tell? I forgot to ask you. Well, hey, wait. The show's not over. We're still going. What is your favorite number?
One of my favorite numbers is 225 because that's my birthday, February 24th.
Oh, duh.
225. Okay.
Why didn't we figure that out?
February 25th.
There you have
You
it.
know, we forgot to say that today is the Feast of the Visitation.
Yes. Oh,
Gosh darn it, why did we keep forgetting all these things?
oh no. That's where we get the Magnificat and.
And a bunch of dioceses are celebrating the Ascension on Sunday.
Yeah,
too.
ours does too. Yeah, we did. Ours moves.
As usual, we always have the best content before and right after we
Fail.
stop. But you know what? We're still
Welcome to
recording,
episode
so
number 2.
this is actually
the
still
PS version.
this is still good
PS
con-
part of the show.
People are still watching the video right now, and I'm still recording the audio, so I'll just keep on going.
This is the show that will never end.
The after show.
Although I'm gonna have to go soon because I'm so excited and I've got a lot to do before I go to the church.
Okay, well, good luck with
Go
your
polish those
reading
shoes.
today, and have a wonderful time at the ordination.
I plan on it. I hope
All right.
hope everything goes well.
Thanks for joining us,
Nobody
Steve.
trips going up to the Embo like me.
Yeah, and whatever you do, don't get that little catch in your throat that you can't clear right before you speak.
That's right. I don't even cough up a fur ball in front of 1,000 people.
Oh boy. Well, I hope everybody has a great week. And now I'm going to actually stop the recording.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye. Thanks everybody in the chat room for joining us. Bye.